Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen. I said this at 8. I'll say it even more so here. I cannot believe you're here. I swear, I thought it was just going to be us, the choir, you know. So thanks for coming out on this day. Man. So since you're here and you went to all the trouble to be here, I've got a game for us to play. Just what you were waiting for. Right? Okay? So you ready to play a game? Okay. It's movie trivia. All right? And I'm going to play a song. Well, Jim's going to play a song. And you decide what movie this is from. Okay? And if you think you know, raise your hand. Anybody know? Okay, stop. What? No, it's not, but it's a good guess. Midnight in Paris, she said. What do you think? Oh, no, but that's a good guess, too. No? Anybody else? Thank you for playing. It's Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is like one of my favorite movies. You know Groundhog Day? You know what it's about? Okay, Groundhog Day is about, I'm going to just do a brief version. It's about a lot. But in the way I'm seeing it, Groundhog Day is about a guy who lives the same day over and over again until he learns what he needs to learn to move on. Right? So he learns, the same thing goes on each day in some ways so that he can learn how to realize, I think, that all days aren't the same. Every day is unique, if you can see it that way. You see, in the movie, the guy he's the one that has to change in order to see that every day, on many levels, can be what you make it. Can be how you engage it. Okay? So that's Groundhog Day. And that's kind of the theme for today, at least according to our prayer, what's called the collect of the day. If you want to look at it, it's at the bottom left. Because our collect of the day puts it this way. Purify our conscience, Almighty God, by your daily visitation, that your Son, Jesus Christ, at his coming, may find in us a mansion prepared for himself. Purify our conscience by your daily visitation. Daily visitation. You get that? So God's presence, God is daily with us. Every day. Each and every day. So, and God is with us, this prayer says, in order for us to make space, to make room, to let go of the things we need to let go of, so that God's Spirit can work more fully within our lives. That's the whole mansion stuff, right? And so that God's Spirit can be born through us and in us and in many ways as us. You get that? That's what the daily visitation is trying to get at. God is not some separate being far away judging us. God is an eternal, everlasting presence with us each day. Each day. And often, it happens in such small, subtle ways that we might miss it. So here's how it happens with me in my life. Any of you guys have like a daily routine? Like a morning routine? Where you kind of do a similar thing every morning? Okay, I have a daily routine. And Cindy could tell it to you right now. Right? So I get up between 5 and 6, depending on the day. Go, make coffee, get ready, put our leash on our dog, and take our dog for a walk. Every morning. Did it this morning. In the rain. Rain or shine, we do it. Okay? And we do it because it's important for my soul. And I think it helps the dog a little bit. Okay, so usually when we go, in the beginning it's dark. It's very dark and it's really quiet. So today all I could hear was the rain hitting the umbrella and kind of just feel the wind coming across. Usually as I walk and walk further through the morning, I walk in such a way as where in the east you can see the light starting to come up, but if you look to the west it's still dark. And it's just that beautiful contrast of light coming up with darkness still there. It's so awesome. And then usually, and I looked at my phone the other day on Friday, just to make sure of the time, and it was 7:05. At 7:05, I heard the first bird. And then there was another bird. And then there was another bird. And I swear to you, each morning for me, it's like that's how the earth wakes up. And I'm a part of that. So for me, that is God's daily visitation. Because I recognize the gift that is this new day. And just because God visits doesn't mean everything's going to go my way. Right? I would not have scripted this weather today. But God's in it all. And what happens for me, once again, what happens for me is not that everything goes my way. The prayer doesn't even promise that. The prayer doesn't say, purify our conscience, Lord, so that at your coming, everything goes the way I want it to go. And my life is exactly the way I scripted it to be. No, what it says is it prepares us. And so that's what the day does for me. The morning ritual does for me. It prepares me for what the day is going to bring. And if by chance I ever miss that ritual, I am not a good guy. And the day is harder. Okay? So it doesn't make everything perfect, but it prepares me for the day. And it prepares me for Christmas too. Doing things like that, being open to God's daily visitation prepares me for Christmas too. All right? I don't know about you, but I often find myself believing that Christmas must be perfect in order for it to be Christmas. You ever think that? Probably not. You guys probably never think that, right? Right? Everything has to go just according to plan. The perfect decorations, the perfect tree, the perfect cookies. And then, on Christmas Day, the perfect children. And they come bouncing out with glee on their face. And they go, "Oh, Father, thank you so much for this beautiful gift." Right? I fall back into like 19th century England. So this is the way it's supposed to go, right? You are such a wonderful father. But the truth is, it doesn't go like that, does it? And if I think about Christmases throughout my life, it's never gone like that. There's always been tension at Christmas. But within the tension, there's also been beauty and wonder. Right? So when I was a kid, and then throughout my college years, my grandparents, my father's parents, used to come and stay with us for Christmas. And they stayed forever. Or at least it seemed like it. Because they got my room. They took my room. And so when I was in college, that really bothered me. Because they were so different from me. College time was my party time, That's right when I was at the height of going out to clubs and doing all you do when you go out to club. And so they were very quiet people from Kansas City, Missouri, of all places. And here we are in South Florida. and they just seemed so square, so nerdy. So they would come and stay for a long time, and each day they needed to have what they called quiet time. So like no electronic anything could be on, no TV, no music, and it was just like death for me. But they also taught me something that I couldn't see when I was in college. They taught me how to appreciate the small things of life. And in particular, my grandfather did, because on Christmas Day, it was really hard to figure out what to buy for him. I think sometimes we get to a certain age and we've got what we need. And so it was really hard to figure out what to get him. And one year somebody got him a bottle of wild turkey. Now, I'm not here to glorify wild turkey, but him having this whiskey was like the best thing in the world. And the reason I say that is because every day, right around 6 o'clock or so, he would have just one, and he wouldn't have any more. And he would just sit there and sip it. And the look of contentment on his face for being able to just do that in that place, at that moment, on that day, was so striking to me that I still remember it. So one night he was doing that, and he liked it so much, I was like, well, give me a sip of that. And I took a big sip. Oh, man. And I'll never forget this. He goes, well, that's sipping whiskey, boy. You don't drink it like that. Like, don't waste it on you. You don't even know. I'm not saying God's in wild turkey. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is God is in moments like that, when people can be right there in it and appreciate it for what it is. God's daily visitation. That's our hope and prayer for you the rest of this Christmas season, is that throughout it you can somehow or another experience the presence of God each day in your life, right where you are, as you are. It's a real gift. Amen.